Hello, it's Warhammer Tactics, Sean speaking. Today I'd like to talk to you just about some simple dice etiquette when playing Warhammer 30k, 40k, AOS, really any war game. And today I have got my wife to assist me.
Hello.
And she'll be my dice roller. First off, we'll talk about actual dice that you should use. There's a lot of dice out there that are quite difficult to read. I've seen people use dice that I can't read, and then even then themselves struggle to read them. So just have nice, plain, simple dice, the best to use that both your opponent and yourself can read nice and easily. And now you notice that we've got symbols on our dice. It's important to let your opponent know whether they represent a 1 or a 6, and in this case they represent a 6. When rolling dice, it's important to try and roll your dice in the open, i.e. not in terrain, so you can't see all the dice, or behind terrain, so your opponent can't see the dice either, or on the floor. So the best place is to throw them open, so your opponent can see your dice rolls, and if one does scatter behind like it did there, it's nice to push it along nicely without knocking it over, so your opponent can see the dice roll. This is to prevent any doubt from yourself, so your opponent doesn't think that you're cheating, even though you're most likely not going to be. But sometimes you roll really hot and they just think you might be trying to put a fast one on them. So it's just nice, see it in the open, so they know that the dice rolls are what you say they are. So when rolling to hit, wound and save, it's nice to roll the dice, let it pause for a second, then take away your misses, which in this case Space Marines will be hitting on a 3-up, so the 1s and 2s will disappear. If you have any re-rolls, re-roll them at this point, and then keep the hits there for your opponent to see, then pick them up, and then roll to wound, which should be on a 4-up. And again, take away the ones that don't wound, which in this case would be the 1-3. So in return, you apply the favour, you'll be saving on a 3-up, you let them see, you take away the fail, so they can see that you've just had one pass. Sometimes you'll use a scatter dice for deep striking units, more in 30k, I don't think it's a thing in 40k anymore. It's important to try and not roll it too far away from what's actually deep striking, because then it's difficult to put which direction it's going. So if you roll them nice and close, then it's a lot easier to tell which direction you need to move them. So that pretty much wraps it up. So it's just important to leave that pause in between rolls to let your opponent see what's rolled, take away the misses, roll an open sight, and then if you're using a scatter dice or some other sort of dice that requires things to move in a certain direction, roll it close to the unit so it makes it easier to actually see which direction it's going. Now, if there's any other niggles that you occur when you're rolling dice from an opponent, thanks for listening. Again, this is Sean at Warhammer Tactics. See you next time.
Bye.